Hey, it's Jack. No K, Jack in the attic. I feel like I haven't sat down to talk about projects in a long time, and that's simply not true. So this will be another video in the format of vlog clips and then catching up after that. So you'll get to see my new e-spinner, you'll get to see a bunch of fiber I got in the mail, you'll get to see the alpaca show I went to last weekend, and then whatever else I forgot that I did. So here's all of that.
Okay, so it showed up like this. That's not great, but I didn't lose anything. So here we have another braid of Peat Bog. I decided I want to make a big project with this. So it's Peat Bog, BFL. This is from FatCatKnits. Ooh. Yay, it came with a stitch marker again. There's fuzz. I actually really like these stitch markers, and now I have 2 of them. Nice. Don't mind my lint roller. You guys know about my white cat problem. White cat, black wardrobe. Here are those granny squares I use as coasters. Second package. This one I've never ordered from them before. This is from HipStrings. I'm trying not to... I guess my address isn't on here. It's a P.O. box. Okay. First ever HipStrings order. Let's go. I don't know what this is. Oh, yes, I do. It's an angle of twist leaf. This is bigger than I expected. That's cute. Nice. Love that. Ooh, okay, this is Farmer's Market. If I take it out of the bag, maybe you can see it better. This is Farmer's Market on Corriedale. I just really liked how these colors looked on the gray base. They're nice and moody. I'm not so much a purple person on its own, but when it's mixed with some green, some grays, I like that. Purple and brown I think look really nice together. Very excited to spin this. I haven't spun Corriedale, but I think it's supposed to be one of the easier ones to spin, similar to BFL, so excited for that. Okay, and last thing, just kidding. Oh, I got a sample of something, I don't know. This looks like the Hail Satin colorway, which I know because it was in my cart when someone bought the last one. So, GG to whoever that was. I respect you. There's just gonna be a bunch of kind of loud plastic noises in this vlog because everything is hard to see through the plastic. Yeah, I think... Oh no, this is Aphrodite. Okay. Cute. I like that colorway. Okay, last thing for real this time. It's Goblin mode. You know I had to. It's Goblin mode. I think this is going to be harder for me to spin, but this is going to be sort of a challenge. I'll probably save this for Tour de Fleece. How perfect is that? I feel like the camera isn't picking up as much green as there is in real life. Like this color is much more vibrant in real life. It's still muted and gray and brown and all that. It's definitely brighter than it's showing up on camera. That's lovely. It's very soft too. I like your haircut.
too curious about us? Hello, it's okay. Buster's so long. Hi, Buster. Hello. Hello. Yeah. You all chewing sideways today.
Okay, I have no memory of, that's not true. I just don't know what all the clips are. I'll talk about the things I remember, and then the rest will be a surprise to both of us because I haven't done any editing yet. I do want to talk about finished objects first because I do have a couple. I did finish my partner's birthday present in time. This is the Easy Tank Top by Easy as Knit. I did red and black stripes in Cascade Hampton. And I think it looks so nice. It did turn out a little bit big. It's just not really fitted, you know? I think it looks fine, but it's not for me, so that's not up to me. Anyway, I made it as long as I physically could. I actually ended up using a different remnant of some cotton yarn for the I-cord because I was scared I was gonna run out of yarn. That did end up being a good choice and it worked out just fine. So will I make this pattern again? Yes, I will probably make another one for my partner in a size down just to see how that works out. And you may have seen this in my last video. How sneaky of me to be wearing a new finished object in a video and then not talk about it. I finished the autumn leaves. I keep saying linear. The word in the pattern title is linear, I think, as in more lines. And that is a theme in a bunch of this designer's patterns. So I think it's really likely that there's just something I'm not understanding. I've kind of shortened it to the autumn leaves top to stop thinking about how I don't know words. Here it is. It's finished. I feel like the closer I get to the camera, the more you can actually see the colors accurately. I should put it on. I should put it on. Here it is. I scooted the camera back a little bit so you could really see it. I think it's really cute. It is pretty cropped. Sorry, I bring you back here. I do usually wear it over like dresses or a really high-waisted skirt, but I do really like it. It's very soft, like it's very flowy and drapey. I can't not say anything, and I don't want to be a bummer, and I don't want to like pretend that this has anything to do with me, but again, I can't not say anything. I found out after I finished this piece that the designer actually passed in 2023. I saw the post on Instagram announcing it, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to share the last line from that announcement, which is, "You can guarantee she is pointing her finger at you right now and telling you to go check your boobs." Never a bad time to share that reminder. Also, I just hope her family knows that her art is still out here bringing joy to people's lives. That's all I can say. It's a really good pattern. It's a really cute top. I've checked out some of her other patterns now and she actually has some like really cute stuff. So I will link her Ravelry below. All of her patterns are free. Again, don't want to be a bummer. I just can't talk about the designer and like not say anything. Anyway, It's a lovely pattern. I had a lot of fun making it. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. What I did change in my version is in the pattern you're supposed to just sort of tack it in a few places. I just did a straight line, fewer ends to worry about. I do maintain that the kind of seed stitch edge rolls over, but maybe I just didn't block it aggressively enough. I don't have a real blocking mat, so I am constantly using whatever cardboard we have in the house with a towel laid over it and sewing pins. So that could be a my blocking issue. Ooh, wait, imagine this with an I-cord edge. It's a free pattern. You can experiment with it if you want. If you do, let me know. Apparently my theme for my spring knitting is green cropped tops. Because I did finally start the Cottagecore crop in my hand-dyed Haunted Swamp Noodles, which is, I have noticed, similar, but like, you know, not identical. It's got plenty of differences, but similar to this colorway, which is Hue Loco Casting Circle, Haunted Swamp Noodles, Casting Circle. I know what I like, all right? I think I'm in the middle of a row here. I was working on it at the eye doctor and then crammed it into my bag when the doctor came into the room. So I'm gonna finish this row while we chat and then I'll show you. This is not related, but at the eye doctor I found out that my eyes point in a little bit. I kind of offhandedly complained that I feel like my eyes are sort of fighting each other to focus and that I've always had problems focusing. I used to see just wrong and I didn't know I was doing it wrong because I would focus just on one little spot and then move that focus around to get a whole picture instead of just looking at it, you know? Point is, I guess there's a reason for that. We don't need to talk about my eyes anymore. I am not actually that far on this project. I needed a smaller project to keep in my bag because I'm working on a cardigan with like 4 skeins of yarn right now as my other project. So I needed a small one to put in my bag, and that's this. And I did work on it for a couple hours last night at Queer Craft Night. I have to say, I'm kind of actually having a good time going to social crafting events this year. I did maybe overschedule myself a bit last month, but you know, it's kind of evening out now and I'm having a good time and like having nice interactions with people in person. I don't know. It was apparently worth trying. So you can really see the differences here, but the vibes are similar. This is much more this is much more muted with some more brown, and it has, of course, the purple in it that this simply does not have. But I don't know what that was. But I'm really liking how it's turning out. I also really like yarn over raglan increases. I think the eyelets look really cool. I keep getting worried that it's gonna look a little bit camo. I don't think it does. I think in the right project it could lean camo, but I think we're safe right now. I don't really have a timeline or anything for this, but I will probably have it done by Like, maybe I could wear it for my birthday, just like the end of May. Speaking of, I would like to do a really casual knit along for my birthday month. I'm trying to work on that right now. I wanted to ask, I have a pattern in mind, and I wanted to ask the designer if that was like okay to do. My sort of nightmare is to get any kind of surprise from a stranger. So I figured a heads up at minimum was in order. But I have not heard back yet. So what were we talking about? Circling back to the cottagecore crop. Yes, this is gonna be a spring top. I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be really cute. I've wanted to make it for a while. I almost made it with this yarn. Remember when we had I bought this yarn and had two patterns in mind and couldn't decide. Now I don't have to. It is really green though, now that I'm holding it up. It's pretty bright. Still swampy though, not mad at it. The cardigan I mentioned. You may remember me mentioning this cardigan a long time ago in one of my like very earliest videos. It has been on kind of an indefinite hold because I started it last summer. And now it is back from the dead. It is my black and white striped raglan cardigan. I am just using the basic raglan pattern from Tin Can Knits. I have made kind of a significant amount of progress since I decided to pick this back up. This is my first ever double knit button band, so please forgive the like flaring at the top and bottom. I'm still working on it, but I think it's so cute. When I put it on though, it's very clear that I messed up the sizing or the gauge or something real bad, and I have no idea which or either or both or something else. Because again, I started this like last August. May have been July. It was probably July. Pretty much every July, August, I start getting Halloween feelings again, sometimes June. And I started thinking about fall things, and honestly, I think Addams Family Values is a summer movie. Anyway, it's giving Pugsley. In a good way? I'll put it on so you can see the sizing issue that I'm having. Also, I think I should have put this top button up a little bit further, but I might put like a little tiny snap in here if it bothers me. Like in between the two layers. Anyway, remember when who would remember this? I probably said it in my head. Anyway, remember how this was supposed to be the rare piece that I make in my size that fits me? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. It's quite oversized and boxy. I did make it very cropped. I'll scoot you out again. I did make it very cropped, which I think is cute. So the boxiness does not bother me. Like, to be honest, making something fitted was out of my comfort zone, and I accidentally just defaulted to oversized like I prefer. So I can't even be mad at it, you know? Come back. Come back here. So I'm working on one sleeve. I'm remaining a sleeve hater. If I could have done the sleeves first, I would have. I did need to, or I felt the need to do the button band and all the ribbing before I did the sleeves so that I knew how it would sit. Otherwise, the sleeves could just end up the complete wrong length. Like at the very least I needed to do the neck ribbing. But I'm thinking probably I want to end on a white stripe. So after this white stripe, I'll probably do 2 more and then ribbing in black. That should be fine. And before I forget, this is knit in Hobie Twister Solid, not Friends Wheel like I thought. And that is a yarn I tend to gravitate towards for any sort of lightweight project. It's very nice, it's very soft, it's very durable. I use it for a lot of things. So I need to check and make sure I didn't use the other black skeins for something else in the many months that I wasn't thinking about this project. It's possible that I did, and if I did, this is going to be a short sleeve project. Yeah, I should have checked before I got this far on the sleeve, but you weren't here to stop me. No one was here to stop me. But what was I gonna do? Make a reasonable, responsible decision? No. Anyway, I want the long sleeves. I think it'll be fun with the long sleeves. I think I will probably wear it more with the long sleeves. However, short sleeves I still think would be cute. I think I could wear it through the summer because again, it's like oversized, lightweight, and cotton and like breezy. And I can have the buttons open. Whatever. I am not going to be mad at it either way. There is even a world in which I do short sleeves, change my mind come fall, and knit the sleeves longer. I don't know. But a whip back from the dead, we love to see it. Another finished object that I do not have in my possession is this dyed yarn. Made for a friend. We did the sort of trade situation I had talked about in a previous video, where I would dye custom colorways for friends. If they buy the yarn, I get to dye it. And that means I get to dye yarn for fun and get more practice without having to add to my stash. So that works out perfectly for me. I have sent the yarn off. It has been received. I think everything went well. For this, I used Jacquard acid dyes in jet black, purple, fuchsia, and the orange I'm pretty sure is gold ochre mixed with a little bit of fuchsia, because I don't own an orange. Yes, that was what it was. I initially tried to mix it with russet. It just wasn't making sense. It wasn't fitting. So the yellow mixed with fuchsia made a lot more sense for the color gradient. And I think it turned out really well. The other thing that you have already seen a little bit of, I got the Electric Eel Wheel 6.1. I love it, and it's kind of becoming a problem. All I want to do is spin. All I want to do is create more yarn. I don't want to sit down and use that yarn. I don't want to knit the projects I'm already working on. I want to be spinning yarn right now. So, one of the first things I did before just some little experiments is I replied the Cloverfield, the neon greens, that yarn that I chain plied but then complained about it being too loose. I replied that. And I think it looks much better. It is much tighter. I don't think it's too terribly overspun, but it definitely is in some places. What did I expect? But I was still very much getting used to the settings of the e-spinner. But I feel like this is much more usable now. I will probably respin the other skein that I have of this plied with black, and then maybe I can use them together. I still don't know what I'm using this for, but this was like the first fiber I ever bought, so it was kind of just for experimenting. And again, this is the Cloverfield colorway from, I think, Divine Dye Works. I will link in the description whether I am correct or incorrect. The next thing I finished is the Brocade colorway fiber from Friends in Fiber. As we know, I started that on my drop spindle. I finished it on the e-spinner. That did create an interesting issue of, turns out I drop spindle kind of backwards from traditional. I was spinning my singles S and plying Z on my drop spindle, and then on the E spinner, I'm spinning singles Z and plying S, which I think is actually recommended for knitting. So I have two skeins here. I mean, together they're like 113 grams. They're just the amount I bought. So I have two skeins here, plied in opposite directions, but who can even be that mad? It's so pretty. This one's prettier. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this either, but I'm just so pleased that it's done. I can't stop looking at it. This is two 2-plies instead of one 3-ply like I thought I was going to make. The twist direction issue was, yeah, it screwed up those plans, but that's okay. I'm still very happy with how it turned out. I think I got kind of lucky that I don't have a ton of areas where the colors overlap and just make one solid color. I got a lot of color variation. I was going to try kind of a fractal yarn, but then I didn't even set that up correctly, so it wasn't going to be an actual fractal. However, I did get more fiber, and I did spin my first fractal 3-ply on Farmer's Market. This is the, I think, gray Corriedale base. This is from HipStrings. I'm so happy with it. It's got a hair. The colors are so good. I'm not usually a purple person, but with this like moody gray purple with some of the orange and green and gray, that I'm a big fan of. Don't get me wrong, I love purple people, you know? People, not just purple. I love when someone is really into one specific color to like a weird degree. I find that charming. I like those people. So, not a purple person, but I do like this. I want to turn off the camera and I want to go spin more. I won't do it, but I want to real bad. This was one of the things that I sort of unboxed. I did not expect to have it spun by the time I was recording this, but here we are. The other fiber I got with that from HipStrings is slightly out of my reach. Hold on. Goblin mode. I already took it out of the bag and showed it earlier, so I just hope you remember it. Goblin mode. This is the one that I'm kind of scared to spin because it's Merino, Shetland, BFL, bamboo, and hemp. So this is going to be maybe a challenge for me. I do now have obviously more experience on the e-spinner than more than 0. So that couldn't hurt. I think I said I was going to save this for Tour de Fleece, but there's really no reason to do that like specifically, except that I think one of the points of Tour de Fleece is to like set goals for yourself, like spinning every day, spinning a specific amount, spinning something new to you, like spinning something that you find challenging. So I just feel like I'm going to find this challenging, so it feels like it fits the prompt. However, I don't need to lock myself into that for any reason. It's just the current idea I have. I think this would make a really good cat hat, the one that I knit in black, I would like to make another one in this. So if I could spin this at like a bulky weight, that would be great. No, I haven't spun anything at a bulky weight since my one and only spinning class. I'll figure it out. I also have more fiber right now in my P.O. box that I need to go get, so you'll see that next time. The other one that I picked up and already showed you is another braid of Peat Bog by FatCatKnits? Fat Cat Knitters? What is it? By FatCatKnits. So I already had one braid of Peat Bog and I've been just kind of obsessed with the colors for a long time. My intention with the first braid was just singles plied with black, and that is still my intention, but I want to do a bigger project. So 4-ounce braids total. I feel like I can do a lot more with that because that's like 400-gram skeins plus a little bit, and I feel like I can do a cropped cardigan, another cropped cardigan. This is who I am. I'm just having to accept this. I want to do a cardigan with hand spun. Do we feel like I can do a cropped cardigan with 4 skeins of yarn? I feel like that's the correct amount. I'm sitting here looking up a cropped cardigan knitting pattern so that I can reconfirm that I'm not out of my mind. I think at a little bit of a looser gauge and using commercial yarn for ribbing and button band, I feel like that's going to be doable. If I'm completely delusional, let me know. Anyway, turns out I really enjoy spinning BFL. I really enjoy spinning Corriedale. Peat Bog is BFL, so I feel like I'm going to have a really good time spinning that. The only other thing I have spun this week is the little teeny sample of Aphrodite that came with my HipStrings order. I immediately spun it on my drop spindle for literally no reason. I just thought it would be fun. And I thought the fiber blend was going to be kind of a challenge for me. And I think it was. The Sari Silk bits were interesting to work with. I haven't used that before, but I think it looks really fun. What am I gonna do with this? I have no clue. And yeah, I bought more fiber at the alpaca show. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone at this point. I bought more fiber at the alpaca show. No, I've never spun alpaca. Yes, I'm scared of it. We have more plastic bags here, so I'll have to untie those to really show you the color. But this is one my partner picked out. I wanted to get one for each of us because, like, I can spin more colorful, more fun things if they're not for me. So my partner picked this one. Actually, maybe you can see the color just fine. I don't want to take these out of the bag if I don't have to. This is 60% alpaca, 20% merino, 20% bamboo, 4 ounces from Willowbrook Farm Alpacas, which is local to me. And then I also got this, which is definitely harder to see through the bag. It's like a dark gray brown. Okay, hopefully the plastic bag is not too loud, but it is this dark gray brown charcoal color. Hard to describe, but I really like it. So these are to make some winter accessories for me and my partner. Ideally. We've seen my plans go off the rails time after time after time, and isn't it great that that's all documented forever? The alpaca show was really fun and cute, by the way. I liked it. I would go again. It was free. Parking was free. That's important to me. Was in a room with a lot of hay for quite a while. Which reminds me, I wanted to talk about my allergies a little bit because I still have no clue what's going on. We've talked about, I've had reactions to loose fiber in the past. I've had one reaction to a really loosely spun like really woolen yarn in the past, wool yarn. The loose fiber, I don't know what type of wool that was. That was my spinning class, so we didn't really get into that because we were brand new beginners. But I haven't had a reaction to spun yarn since 2020. So I feel like that's a good sign. There's a chance that this is all just coincidence. There's also a chance that my allergy test that said I am allergic to literally nothing could be wrong. So I don't want anyone to like see me spinning all this wool and be like, I thought you were allergic. I know even less than you, I promise. I know so little about what's going on with the sometimes I react to things, sometimes I don't. Let's also not forget that I have an autoimmune disorder, and I also have diagnosed chronic idiopathic hives. So I'm allergic to nothing, everything, my own hair, changing clothes, and the sun. I cannot keep track of whether or not I am allergic to wool. I just don't know. So it's going to keep being relevant to this channel and our conversations because sometimes things are going to make me sneezy and I'm going to have to stop working with them. Like, yes, this is a kind of useless point, and yes, I'm going to bring it up again. Let's talk about spring and summer knitting plans while we're here. First plan is to make that crochet tutorial that I swore I was going to make. I'm sorry. Things have been wild. We've had everything going on, and I just now finally have, I think, the correct tool to help me film a tutorial. Is it embarrassing to own this? I think so, for me. You can own it though, and that's not embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me to own it. And the phone goes here. But I can finally film the tutorial. Would you be mad if instead of finishing my current wool cotton blend hillia dress, I still do that, but start a second one of a pattern I haven't finished? Because I have a lot of a cotton silk blend from Hobie, and this was the plan all along, was to make a cold weather version and a warm weather version. So would you be mad if I started a second one before finishing the first one? I might be mad at myself if I do that. I might do it anyway. Also, we know I love these sleeves, even though it ended up kind of big. We know I did. I found a new sleeve pattern that I'm kind of obsessed with. It just looks so cool. I'm scooting over to give myself room. It just looks so cool. I love the shape. I love the button. I think I'm gonna unravel this and make this instead. It is written for worsted, and this is DK, but I think if I can size up my needles and get gauge correct, I'm still gonna do it because I don't tolerate heat well anyway. If I want to be able to wear this for more of the year, I'm totally fine with it being a lighter, breezier fabric. My other plan is to keep working through the 10-pound box of yarn that I'm making all of the bandanas with. I'm not going to drag that whole thing over here. I will say yesterday I got to give away 5 of the bandanas, so they are no longer in a pile staring at me. But if you haven't seen it before, I'll grab one. Okay, I actually grabbed one bandana in progress, but I'm knitting and crocheting as many of these bandanas as I can out of this 10-pound box of yarn that I bought from Joanne right before the big announcement. So these are going to be to hand out at Pride and then to friends and whoever I can give them to. So that is an ongoing thing. Am I gonna finish it all by whenever weekend pride is? I don't know. I might be crocheting them there and handing them out as I finish them. Who knows at this point. But that is all I have been working on. Those are my plans. Those are my updates. This was a really long one. I know there are people out there who specifically request and like prefer my very long videos, so if that's you, you're welcome. Also, thank you for making me feel better about putting out these extremely long videos. I thought it was kind of a burden, but if I'm making kind of a variety of things that I like to make and all of it ends up making someone happy, that's great. So as always, let me know what you're working on. I cannot keep adding things to my favorites, but let me know anyway. As always, take care of your joints, take breaks and stretch. Go live your best yarny life, and I will see you next time.